Um, SummerSlam just went off the air, ladies and gentlemen, and we are just jumping right into it. We had no idea that SummerSlam was going to go close to 12 in the morning, but we are here for the Big Pop Theory podcast. We wanted to jump right into it. I'm one of your hosts, the great grand poobah BadGuy Jack, and I'm joined with the fantastic ShaySawyer. ShaySawyer, um, I can, as you guys can tell if you're watching the live review, we were not prepared to go for this long, but we thank you guys for joining us. And there's going to be an audio later in the afternoon. But Shay, sorry, what did you think about? Excuse me, that was terrible. What did you think about SummerSlam?
I mean, I thought there were a lot of good matches. There were some things that I wasn't really into, but again, really good matches. Yeah, so it's decent.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent show altogether. And it's funny because they didn't have a lot of matches, right, regards to SummerSlam, and yet it still went so long. So I have some friends who came through and hung out. Shout out to them. We hung out, and shout out to my little brother. He came out here, hung out with me. Matter of fact, saw a Bret Hart match. So he is fantastic. So I want to give him a shout out. He listened to me badmouth Shawn Michaels. So anybody
Hmm.
that listens to me, I think that's do that. That's great. But all seriousness, I didn't expect the show to go so long, but they did have some really good stuff. It did open up with Kid Rock talking about SummerSlam. So the big controversy during the week, I did want to hear your opinion about this. So I expected to see um, one Becky Lynch against Trish Stratus, but that match was taken off the card. I do want to hear if I can get your reactions real quick. How did you feel about that not being on SummerSlam?
I mean, it really sucked. I feel like there were some matches that definitely could have been replaced with it. I think they definitely would have delivered, so it was bittersweet, but I'm sure they have something great planned for them um, to make up for it. So, yeah.
We're gonna get that match in 2 weeks. It's gonna be on Monday night. But opening up, we had Kid Rock and we were talking about SummerSlam. I thought we were actually going to get a performance actually from him, but we didn't get that. But he did talk about SummerSlam, them being out there in Detroit. Um, the opening match, we had Paul Logan against Ricochet, and this match went with, if I could just sit here and say it, it went how I thought it would go. Paul Logan going over Ricochet.
Do you call him Paul Logan on purpose?
It's Logan Paul, isn't it?
Yes.
No, I actually
I
wrote.
thought you were being funny. I'm
No,
like,
well, I'm just generally funny because I'm just a comedian. But like, no, I totally understand. But no, I honestly wrote Paul Logan, not realizing it's Logan Paul. It's two first names. I'm sorry, like two first names. It blows me
I don't
away.
know.
I struggle.
I'm not really trying to. You always have an excuse. That's so
Really?
weird.
Well, I have pockets because I wear pants with pockets, so I can't help
I don't
it.
know what that has to do with having excuses.
Because I have pockets. That's like I literally can just just all the excuses. But nonetheless, Logan Paul he beats Ricochet, and I thought the match was solid. I mean, I was here for the longest. I'm sorry, I have company here, and they are just excited that I don't know what they're doing in the front. I apologize, guys, if you guys can hear them. But and there's laughter. Okay. Let me get into the zone. So Logan Paul he beats Ricochet. What I thought was what I expected. But I think the match was solid. And I thought it was really good. I think what they tried to do here is have Logan Paul get a win because he has not gotten a win since last year's SummerSlam, right? And him being in the ring with Ricochet, I think Ricochet is pretty talented. I would say out loud a few times, I was like, "Oh well, Ricochet." I would say with Ricochet, I'm like, "Oh yeah, Ricochet's gonna put him over," and I think people took it as a way like, "Oh, Ricochet's gonna put him over," and like laughing. But I thought the match was what it needed to be. Um, Logan Paul gets the win. I did like the story where on Monday because we're gonna have this is gonna be the review for the Big Pop Theory podcast for this week. Um, early in the week, Logan Paul, he mentioned to Ricochet, and he said, "Is that your fiance?" Talking about Samantha Irvin, and he said, "Hey, no offense, bro, but when I win, don't feel bad when she says my name when I win."
Mhm.
And she did it. She had no choice but to say, "Congratulations!" Oh, not congratulations. And the winner is Logan Paul. Uh, Sawyer, what did you think about this match? Please give your thoughts about this match.
Um, I mean, I thought it was a really um, fun match. I think that they bounced off each other really well. Um, I would have loved for Ricochet to win. I guess Logan needed a win. I guess. Um, I mean, in a way, it's still a way to protect Ricochet because obviously there was some shenanigans. So it's not like he just lost clean. So that's good. And I just love the reaction that Ricochet got, honestly. So that's a lot of positives. It's unfortunate that Logan had to win. But you know what? Good for you. He did a few couple moves that I will say were decent. Um, yeah, but wish Ricochet won.
Real quick, do you what do you think is next for just real quick thoughts because I mean it's so late and shout out to you for being here late because it's late for both of us. But what do you think is next for Ricochet? Do you see any high ups for him?
Um, I don't know, honestly. I really can't like put my finger on it. I mean, I hope it's positive, but yeah, I really don't know, honestly.
I hope that there is some high hopes for him. I mean, him losing, I don't. I feel like it doesn't hurt his. It doesn't hurt him. I feel like what it does, it just goes like it shows that he was able to have a match with someone like Logan Paul, and Logan Paul, I think he's pretty solid in the ring, but I hope that he gets rewarded. If that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
so I hope that there's more to Ricochet. I hope that they realize that they have something in Ricochet, and I just hope that they moving forward that they have some kind of vision for him because I think Ricochet is somebody that you I think you can build around him. Is my point. I apologize for taking so long.
Yeah, the crowd was really, really into him. They've been into him a lot, like especially since this like feud started. So I could see the positives in it. So that's really good for Ricochet. I'm happy for him.
And I think right now when you have someone like Gunther, we'll talk about him later, who is the Intercontinental Champion. I don't see him taking the title off him right now, but I hope that they have a vision for him moving forward and go like we want to utilize him more and put him on TV more and eventually put some gold around him. And I'm looking at that Intercontinental Championship when eventually Gunther drops the title. So we had that. That was the opener, and the second match. And this match opened Logan Paul. I'm sorry, I laughed at earlier when you were talking about when I said Paul Logan. I put Paul Logan like that's literally in my notes. But they did that because Logan wanted to make sure that he left early in time to catch his brother's match. He has a fight, a boxing match or something like that. So that match was the opener. And let's jump into the second match. We have Cody Rhodes. I you know Right. We should have visuals, right? Because like there is visuals, and I feel like we don't have every visual, but I'm just gonna click it right here because we should do that. But we have this match right here. We have Cody Rhodes representing America going against Brock Lesnar representing destruction. I,
Mhm.
I don't I don't know what he represents. This match went exactly well. I don't want to say exactly. I don't want to sit there and say like it went exactly how it would go. I expected Cody don't fall. This has been a long night. Please don't fall. Notebook. But this match went what I thought it would be. I thought that Cody Rhodes should get this one. This was going to be the third match, right? You have Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar. Cody won the first match at Backlash. I'm sorry. I took a pause because I think people are playing Spider-Man Miles Morales when I'm okay. Never mind. I'm sorry. People are gonna hear me yell tonight. Oh, this is gonna be a long night. But we have Cody Rhodes. He won the match at Backlash. Brock Lesnar won the last pay per view. God, what was it? it was not Night of Champions. Was it Night of Champions? I forget. But it was the last encounter that they had. And you know that these two were going to have a third match to just figure out, to break the tiebreaker between these two. And I thought this match was solid. I think it had to do what it had to do. This match didn't blow me away. It wasn't something that I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and I use it as always as a reference. I fast like a Tokyo Dome. I thought the match did what it needed to do. Cody Rhodes goes over Brock Lesnar. He beats him clean at that. This was actually like an actual solid wrestling match. So when you have Cody going against Brock, he beats him with the crossroads. He hits him. He hits him with the crossroads, and he goes for the trifecta crossroads, pins him clean. Brock Lesnar then stands up because Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry, just he sells the move, right? But I feel like he sells it enough where it's like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, then he'll get up. He got up, took off the gloves, which is a scary sight in itself because when you see Brock takes off the gloves, you just hope that this man doesn't rip you apart. But he takes off the gloves, looks at Cody, gives him a head, like a playful headbutt, I would say. Shook his hand, raised his hand, and Cody get the win. Brock Lesnar embraces Cody, and I thought it was a pretty decent match. I mean, like I said, I don't want to say I was blown away. This was fantastic and all this stuff, but I thought it did what it had to do. ShaySawyer, what did you think about this match?
So I kind of like their first encounter match, like the first encounter from when this feud started. I like that uh, the most, honestly, of all the matches. This one was, and it wasn't bad at all. It just was kind of like, like it
Right,
had some, moments that were like, oh, I definitely jumped up for like, the cutters. Like Cody always is so explosive with his cutters that it just always kind of gets a pop out of me. Um, but yeah, this match was kind of just, it definitely wasn't my favorite of the night, but it was good. My confusion just comes from, do we even really, really know why Brock like had
right,
this vendetta against Cody? Only, I mean, broke his arm, and then all of a sudden it's just like, hey, you know what, kid, you're all right. What? And Cody's just smiling. Excuse me, we would never be cool again. I don't understand. I didn't understand that at all because we would just never be cool again because you broke my arm. So, I mean, so now it's just like, you know what? You're all right, kid. Like,
yeah. We never got an answer on why Brock did what he did, and maybe we'll get an actual answer tomorrow. Maybe. Oh, no, not tomorrow. I'm sorry, because tomorrow's no, technically it's Sunday. I apologize because
bold
I,
of you to just think that Brock will be there. Is he? Was he announced?
uh, does Brock even have to be announced at this point? I just feel like Brock just does whatever he wants. Like I saw Brock at the nearest Stone Cold or what was that place? It's an ice cream place. I don't know what it's called. All I'm saying is, does Brock have to be announced anymore? I just feel like Brock just shows up when he wants to, when he wants to cause all kinds of destruction, which we needed him when Thanos was running mad, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, I do agree that we never got an answer to why Brock did what he did, and now him being cool. But I sit here and go, it is professional wrestling, right? So, did we ever get answers why Kane just burned people? I always
Yeah,
wondered
yeah.
that.
We kind of did though.
No, we didn't. No,
Yes,
so
we
don't do
did.
that. No, we didn't. No, no,
He
don't.
explained it in detail. I feel like he did.
Did it make sense?
I mean, he's basically said, "I have trauma. My brother set me on fire." So, I mean, it's a pretty decent reason, like if there's reasons for being a pyromaniac. Yeah.
I hear you, girl. I'm just I understand, you know,
He said
because
he didn't get any explanation. I'm like, yes, we did. His whole lore is the explanation for his affinity with fire.
was he actually burned? Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page here. Um, let's move forward. We had a battle royal. There's a lot of people in this match. I didn't even write all these names. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to do this review for you guys, and we want to say thank you guys for joining us for the Big Pop Theory podcast live on YouTube. We usually do an audio podcast, but we decided to go live after, after which is 12:38, 12 after in the 12 at night. But there was a battle royal. There's a lot of people in it. I know the Miz was in it. Um, Grayson Waller was in it, and I feel like there's some other names that I'm just missing. But let's just talk about the guy that really stood out mostly in this battle royal. We had L.A. Knight. L.A. Knight is in this battle royal, and the winner, Sheamus too. I'm sorry, it just came across my mind.
There's a lot of people
It was so hard to keep up with this, man.
yeah.
Like it really was hard. I was watching this with I had a shout out to my friend Mark Wins. He came through to hang out with me, and one of my little brother's friends, he came through to hang out, and I mean, they picked a they picked a lot of the people that was wrong in SummerSlam, but LA Knight gets the win. That was the right win for this battle royal. I I feel like what they tried to do here is one, have LA Knight in here, try to put a lot of people on the card as well that was not on the card, and you have, like I said, Sheamus. Um, um, oh God, I'm blanking
It was
on
Matt Riddle,
Matt Riddle. Okay,
Karrion Cross.
Karrion Cross was there. We Karrion Cross cracks me up because I feel like his obsession is just anytime he sees AJ, he just want to ruin this man's life. So when he got eliminated and he saw AJ was still in the ring,
He just wants to beat up AJ Styles.
you know it's funny. It's funny. Years later, when he used to say, "You know what my favorite thing to do is beat up John Cena," and now it's Karrion Cross' favorite thing is to beat up Arian. Arian.
Oh, how the turntables.
I don't even know if he has a table.
He definitely does have a table.
I don't.
You do have a table.
How do you know?
What is your computer on?
How do you not know it's floating? She's so annoyed with me. But LA Knight gets the win, and it's the right move. It's the right move. He's hot right now. He has a lot of momentum, and I think that's the right move. You need to take the title up. Listen, I have, with all the respect in the world for Austin Theory, I think everyone can sit here and admit that there's no momentum going with him as the champion. I it's and please, if you have thoughts, please add. I mean, the floor is yours.
No, I'm just sad. Like I agree. It's just like not hitting, and it just sucks because I really, really do like Austin Theory.
I like Austin Theory too. And I feel like I said this one time doing a review that we did, and maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know because I just talk a lot, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's just that, um, like Austin Theory, he beat John Cena so many months ago, right? And it was like, oh look, I beat John Cena and all these things, and as time goes on, it meant nothing. It really didn't mean anything. So I just think let's put the title on LA Knight. There's a lot of steam on it, but even as I say there's a lot of steam, I hope that if that is the direction that they go into, that if that's the direction that they go into, that they have a vision for LA Knight. Because you can put the title on him, but that don't mean anything. Like, what is the direction? What is the idea?
I
That
would rather they didn't rush that though.
yes, and I respect that. I totally respect that. Like, you don't want to do that. That's why I said if you do it, what is the vision? Because you got to have a direction, right?
Yeah.
And if there's no direction, don't do it. Don't just put the title on just to put the title on, because I feel like they did that for Austin Theory. And then you look at Austin Theory, what did he accomplish being the United States champion? And I don't think he did anything to
I
accomplish
think
it.
he's accomplished things. That's like, I think it just didn't get the reaction. It didn't get the reaction that I think that they wanted. But he definitely has accomplished things. Like, he has a lot of, defeats under his belt, and
Right.
he's had the title for a long time. So there's some accomplishments in that. Um, it just missed the mark in terms of keeping the keeping the crowd, keeping the audience interested in it.
Okay. Understood. Understood. So we got LA Knight, and I don't think they announced when this match was going to be a thing, but he's going to be the number one contender for the United States Championship.
Oh, is that what
And
that was for?
yeah, that was what he didn't Austin Theory come out? I thought
I
Austin
mean,
Theory.
he was in the match.
He was?
Yeah.
Maybe I am totally wrong.
Yeah, he got eliminated at some point.
He was in the match?
He was in the match.
That is a shame. I really didn't even acknowledge that.
Yeah, I
No, I
know.
really didn't, but I'm glad that you called that out because now it
That's
makes me.
why I was like, is it a battle royal for that? Because I feel like he was in there. I just thought they were gonna get like a lifetime supply of Slim Jims.
Slim Jim was good.
Good.
Shout out because if LA Knight won a whole supply of Slim Jims, good for him. I hope that he enjoys that.
It's what he deserves.
I had Slim Jim one time. It was pretty good. I had some cheese. It was basic cheese. I would never do it again because I don't like basic cheese.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and I'm not a fan of basic cheese. Like, no, thank you. We had the MMA fight. We had right here because we do have some graphics here. We had Ronda Rousey going against Shayna Baszler. Try to hype it up a little bit because it is late at night, but we are trying to hype it up here. We want to say thank you guys for joining us for the Big Pop Baby podcast. Thank you. Let's say that real quick. This match was just between two friends, right? Ronda. There's always been all this talk, right, with Ronda Rousey, exiting the company, and you would hear that she would say, well, not her saying. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase from that. But you would hear the rumors that she wanted to leave, but she wanted to make sure that her friend Shayna would. She wanted to put over her friend Shayna. Shayna for the last few weeks had been killing women. She beat Emma. I wasn't a fan of that because I just really want the best for Emma. So her beating her in under what it was like 50 seconds or something like that.
It
I
was
just want
quick.
it was very quick. She beat. I'm trying to think who else she beat, but I was not a fan of the one with Emma because there's a lot of conversation. We'll save it for the Big Pop Theory podcast for the audio, but they've really been trying to build her back up and almost build her up to I feel like NXT version of herself because I think that was the best version of herself when she was just killing girls. Like she held that championship for God, I don't know how many days, but it was a long time. Let's say it was over 200 something days, right?
Yeah.
But her and Ronda have a match. I thought it did what it had to do. Once again, it didn't. How do I say this? It wasn't an awful match. I feel like I gotta watch it back. We're just going live, and I'm giving my initial thoughts on this match. I'm open to watching it back, and maybe my opinion would change. But I feel like this match did what it had to do. Shayna goes over, beating Ronda. She chokes her out. The ref. I laugh because there's so many times where someone was in a sleeper hole and the ref didn't ring the bell right away. But I guess she said that looked deadly. Let me ring the bell because Ronda looked out.
Yeah, she definitely did.
Yeah, she sold it really well though. I do want to sit here and say when she had her in the sleeper, Ronda sold it very well. I thought the match was decent. Like like I don't want to sit here and say like because I wasn't disgusted in the match. I want to make that clear. I wasn't disgusted in the match. It's just It was like, oh, that was cool. I think it did what it had to do, and I think that was the mission, right? Like,
Yeah.
or the idea, like, hey, let's put Shayna over because Shayna's going to still be here. She beats Ronda, who has been, I don't want to necessarily say a dominant force, but when you look at her background, right,
Yeah.
she's one of the best. Oh, I'll say this, right, so people understand. If I'm walking down the street and I saw Ronda Rousey, I would cross the street because
Valid.
I don't think my medical can cover my arm being broke by Ronda Rousey because they would
Yeah.
say you're an idiot.
Exactly.
Thank
And
you.
she's an Aquarius, so she don't care. She'll
She's
support
water.
her.
Take the floor.
Yeah, this match didn't really do it for me. It just wasn't for me. I feel like it was just a lot of, I don't know, like I just wasn't invested at all. But the ending was great. I think Shayna winning is the best way to go about things. Hopefully they can capitalize on it because they seem to always miss the mark when it comes to Shayna. Yeah, this match was just really did I for me honestly. I would say this was my least favorite match on the card. Like, I don't know. It just was a disconnect. And I don't think it was either fault. I just think it was a disconnect between the crowd and just the energy.
No, I can understand that. I think that a match like this, it's hard because like if you like MMA and stuff like that, it might be more up your alley. But if you don't, because I'm not even a big MMA person, I've seen a few
Yeah.
MMA fights and they end relatively quick. Like all it takes is
Hmm.
I used to play yeah, yeah, just jump real quick. I used to play I forget
Hmm.
what UFC game it was. It was some UFC game. All I know is someone punched me in the jaw and the game was over and I said this is not
I just think that the crowd was very confused. Just
Mhm.
like, because you can't assume that, wrestling fans just know all the ins and outs of, MMA and stuff. And, actually, I wanted to call back to something Jeff Jarrett said from the recent Dark Side of the Ring, which was you confuse them, you lose them. And I feel like the crowd was very confused with what was going on with this match. And so that's kind of where the disconnect was.
Totally understood. I think and I'll end it with this. I think that they just wanted to get the story. They wanted to give Shayna the big rub, beating someone like Ronda, and I totally understand what you're saying. By the way, I just wanted to make sure that was clear. I
Mhm.
totally get what you mean. But they wanted to give Shayna the big rub, beating someone like Ronda. Ronda, if this is her swan song and she's leaving, Shayna, and you mentioned earlier, hopefully that they don't miss the mark with her because there is something special about Shayna, and I hope that they see it the same way that I do because I think that she can be a women's champion on. She's on Raw, right? Okay, this is Raw, and it's hard right now because you have Rhea Ripley, so I don't see her taking the title anytime soon. But I'm just saying, I think she's someone you can put the title around. Is my point. Um,
Okay.
let's jump into the very next thing we had. I wish I downloaded pictures and it didn't go through. It's hilarious. I love technology. But we had Gunther going against Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship. And I thought this match was good. I thought this match was good. I want to rewatch this match. Um, Drew McIntyre, the last time they had an encounter was WrestleMania, was this 39? There's so many numbers, so please forgive me when I had to sit here and think what number it is. But they had a match. It was a triple threat, him, Sheamus, and Gunther. And Gunther pinned Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre, it seemed like just wanted retribution and get revenge on Gunther. And I'm glad that they didn't go the route on putting the title on Drew McIntyre. I am glad that they kept the title on Gunther, and especially when I think back. So 2019, can I paint a picture real quick, Sawyer. So 2019, right? We had Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Gunther was representing NXT. And I'll never forget because I saw Gunther with a smile, which was very scary because I've never seen Gunther smile. And the smile was wiped off his face because Drew McIntyre hit him with a Claymore click and Claymore kick and eliminated him within, let's say, 10 seconds, right? Gross. Gunther never forgot that. So Gunther beat the hell out of Drew McIntyre in this match. I love revenge. I am a big fan of it. I add that seasoning to my oatmeal because that's what helps me maneuver in the morning. So Gunther defeats Drew McIntyre in the match and retained the IC Championship, and he continues to climb and reach the record for the Intercontinental Championship. I forget what number he's at now. I think he's like number 4. I forget. I'll have to Google it real quick. But Sawyer, please, madam, why don't you take the floor and tell the other people what you think about this encounter?
It was a really fun match. I mean, I didn't expect them to not deliver because they always do. They just have insane chemistry. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this match, and I'm glad that Gunther won because that's who should win. I'm sorry, like no shade to Drew, but no, no Gunther. We need him to ride this out. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
No, I concur. He needs to go into it, and it just seemed like it made sense. I think there was a lot of people who had a concern about Drew taking the championship and abruptly ending this reign that Gunther has been going on. And I think it only makes sense for him to break the record. I just think this is the guy who you put the. We talked about the United States Championship earlier and talked about how ice cold it is. And Gunther has done such a phenomenal job of making that title feel so important and making it feel like you want to go for, you want to go for the main title, the World Heavyweight. Excuse me, I apologize, hiccups. But you want to go for the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship and all that stuff. But I love that people are now like, yo, I want to take that title off Gunther because this dude has been just holding the title for over a year, and I think I can beat him. I love that the importance of that, and I think that's so important. He's done such a great job, and I think he should be the one to break the record. Let's move forward. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about this one right here. We have the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. We have Seth freaking Rollins going against Finn Balor for the Heavyweight Championship. Real quick, a lot of people, including myself too, I thought it was a good chance. I said previously I said, Seth, I see Seth retaining, but there's a great chance of Finn taking the title. And there was even a lot of people for the longest time saying Finn winning the championship. They would be cool with Finn winning the World Heavyweight Championship, even if it's for a period. But that wasn't for tonight. We had Seth retaining, beating Finn. I thought these guys had a really good match. I was moving around a little bit, but some of the stuff that I saw, like Finn. One thing about Finn is funny. He will hold a grudge, and he powerbombed. This was the second time he powerbombed Seth Rollins outside, which I think was dangerous. But Finn is the kind of guy who said, like, you did it once, I'm going to do it 3 times. That's just what I do. That happened. He's powerbombed him outside. And when it looked like Finn was going to get the championship, especially when the Judgment Day came out, you have. You're fine. When it looked like Seth was going to win the championship, you had Rhea Ripley, you had Dominic Mysterio coming out, and you had Damian Priest come out. What my co-host would say, leather pants. He came out, and he was distracted by leather pants, Money in the Bank, and it looked like leather pants was or Damian Priest was going to help Finn Balor, and it was a shame because he really tried to help Finn Balor, but Seth Rollins, he gets the curb stomp. He stomps Finn's head on the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. Sawyer, this match was for you. What did you? Please take the floor. What did you think about the match?
This was my match of the night. I thought that they really, really brought it, like, for real. Like, they did a really, really, really great job. Like, I feel like this rivaled the, first SummerSlam match for me personally. Um, I just think it's so nasty, the type of world that we live in, that people can get away with these evil tactics, such as what Leather Pants does. And Seth as well, because he tried to be funny with wearing an outfit from that time. Like, he just it just wasn't funny to me. Um, I just feel like this was the perfect time. Right now, Seth doesn't have anything going on storyline wise. I feel like the Judgment Day and the stuff going on with them is such a compelling story. It deserved to have a title attached to it, because Seth don't have that going on. Like, I just feel like it was the right time, and it's a shame. Like, if Finn leaves, WWE, and he never got to really get that chance, that would be such a nasty, nasty, disgusting thing to happen, and it would be a mistake on WWE that they will regret for a long time. I just think that the Judgment Day, um, have severed ties with that group. Honestly, I know that they did it on purpose. We will see what comes to fruition on Monday. I hope that Finn leaves the group one way or the other. I want him out of that group because it's just negative energy. And I just want to see where he can go from here, and maybe put him with JD. JD McDonough had a lot to say on Twitter about the situation, so maybe we can play off of that. I think that JD needs something substantial right now. He's just been on the main roster and not really doing anything specific. And Finn could use someone he can actually trust that can actually get something done. So, yeah, I would love to see that. And I just want Leather Pants to be 6 feet away, maybe even more than 6 feet away from Finn, maybe 20 feet, maybe a whole continent. I don't know. Because why did you come out? Like, literally, why did you come out? Did it work the last time? No, it didn't. Finn wouldn't have gotten curb stomped onto a briefcase if there was no briefcase that was brought out. Simple, right? Real simple. I know Damien did on purpose, and you had the audacity to sit there. You're upset. You're upset. You got the stank face. Like everybody with the little memes with him with his face. You, if your face all screwed up, like you lost something. That's real rich. That's real rich. I hope he fails his cash in. And I mean it.
What's the sort of the finger point and the index finger point? I knew that she was serious on what she said. Um, yeah, I see him definitely having a fail in cash in. I actually thought it was going to be a fail in cash in tonight, but I was wrong. I think the only cash in was Finn's face on the Money in the Bank briefcase, which was in your eyes tragic. But Seth Rollins, he dominates Finn Balor once again, and yeah, Seth Rollins is you're still your world heavyweight champion, and
Oh my God, delusional. So what my thought process was
hmm?
is that Damien would try and cash it in,
Hmm?
like, as a match.
Oh,
If
like a triple
if
threat.
he's got the cojones, he will just challenge Seth at Payback, and Finn will find a way to weasel himself into that match and win. So that's the narrative. That's what Balor Club, we've already decided by the end of the match that that's what we're going with, and so we're just gonna wait for that to happen.
See, like it that Woo! Nah, she really be trying. So Finn is going to be getting a third match after Seth beat him twice at a pay per view.
Because every time it's always shenanigans. Sorry. If you can't beat him, and honestly, this kind of is a reflection on Leather Pants as well, because why do you feel like you have to keep like sabotaging the competition? Is that like a reflection on yourself that you don't believe in yourself that you could get it done? Like you're worried? Like that's what it translates to me.
I don't. You know what I think? I think that he's not concerned about that. I think he want to make sure he has the best leather pants in the world. And shout out to you, Damian Priest. Go listen to my co-host. She's just listen. We all want the best for Finn. I like Finn. Shout out to from Jabba Tears, Sir Wilkins. He interviewed this man, and he even apologized and said, "Hey, man, um, I didn't think he was blockbuster, but you've been killing it lately." So shout out to him for interviewing Finn Balor because Finn is fantastic, and I do hope. I make my jokes on Finn at the expense of my co-host, but I do want to sit here and say that I do hope before he hangs it up, and he's still young enough to be around, and I think he's young enough to still have a world heavyweight championship. Do I think tonight should have been the night? I don't think tonight should have been, and I was just thinking storyline wise, and I guess for me storyline was um, okay. Seth retained. There's this problem with the Judgment Day, and it's still going to be going on. You mentioned JD, who he's not injured, right? Like he's not injured. They just don't have anything for him.
He was in the Battle Royal.
He was. I'm not even trying to be funny. He was.
Yes.
I didn't even see him. And I think that they are taking their time right now with this Judgment Day. I do see him as a replacement, and he's going to be replacing um, Damian Priest. And I don't know how soon they go for it, but they are definitely building to a breakup between. You said Finn should leave. I don't see
I
Finn
think
leaving.
they should just get him out the group, never be there, just end it, let the group crumble because it, in fact, will. When Finn leaves, it will crumble.
And that's the thing. I don't. And just real quick, and we'll move forward. I don't. Um, and I respect your opinion, by the way. Like when you say just
Mhm.
take them out the group and let the group.
I would love that.
Judgment Day. Judgment Day has been. It was always like number two to the Bloodline, and now with the Bloodline falling apart, and I hate what you're saying, but the Bloodline was number one, and Judgment Day was number two. But Judgment Day right now is the number one faction with the Bloodline not being the Bloodline anymore. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And I see them still want to keep this group going, especially now when they are on. Dominic right now is on SmackDown, which makes no sense. Because I like brand split, and I believe in brand split, and so when they do stuff like that, I just feel like brand split be damned. But my point in saying all this is that they have the Judgment Day on like every show at this point, and I feel like they want to keep this group going for as long as they can. I'm sure they're going to keep Finn, they're going to keep Rhea, they're going to keep
Mhm.
Dominic Mysterio. Mysterio, I apologize, and I see definitely the Man of Leather.
They
They,
clearly don't want the group to keep going because it's not
Mhm.
been conducive to anything for Finn. Everyone else has something except for Finn.
Right.
There's nothing about
And
this
even,
group that should be going on. They've
and
missed
even
the
that,
boat. This is the perfect time to do so. The boat is missed. Finn should just get out of the group.
Mhm.
They can be Destiny's Child, three of them, and let that crumble. Yeah, I'm just ready for that.
Fair enough. So we'll continue to move on. We had a triple threat. I almost said, geez, tongue tied. We had a triple threat. We had Asuka defending her WWE Women's Championship against Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair. Woo! And um, I think these women went out there and worked their asses off. I think that these women did what they had to do. Um, I honestly expected Oscar to retain. So when Bianca got the win, I was surprised. Who did you sorry, who did you have winning this match?
I genuinely thought that Charlotte was going to win just to maintain her record, and then Io was going to cash in. I said this last week, not week, but the week before. I definitely said I believe Io was leaving there as champion. So yeah, I'm a witch, and I've told the future yet again. You can continue to doubt me. I'm happy for Io. I was shocked about the Bianca thing. I wonder what made them go that route of Bianca winning and then taking that pin. I really do wonder. But hey, you know what? They put another notch under that belt, another title win. It still counts, even if it was for 2 minutes.
You know, it's funny. I was watching this with some of my friends and my brother, and I think they were immediately like, "Yo, why did Bianca lose?" And they were upset. And I said, "Hey, dog, like she's gonna be all right." And I also wanted to inform them she held the championship for over like 400 something days. She's all right. Like she's okay. I didn't expect that to be the win. I thought Oscar was going to find sneak away to win, and I was wrong. And that's okay. I don't mind being wrong. I'm totally and utterly fine with that. Um,
Hmm.
like I said, I thought the work was pretty good. I mean, when you got someone like Bianca, Oscar, and Charlotte, I would watch it back again just to give a better review on it, just to give. But I thought these women did what they had to do. I did like the spot of Charlotte. She hit the figure eight on Oscar, and she when she bridged. I liked when Bianca she climbed up the turnbuckle. It looked like she was hurt, and it's funny when I watch it with fans or people who don't watch enough wrestling, and they're like, "Oh, she's really hurt," and I'm like, "No."
Hmm. She had
And
me for a second, though. I won't lie. She had me for a quick second.
that's great. I think that's great because that means that her selling and her acting was to a point. It grabbed you.
Yeah.
That's great. So I was saying only laughing like, haha, no, it doesn't, because I didn't think she was really hurt, especially when they kept zooming in on her. But I thought that it was great that it caught people who don't watch it all the time. Because for me, I said, oh no, she's not done. She's gonna come back. But I did like the spot where she climbed up the turnbuckle and she did the 450 on Charlotte when she was mid of the bridge of the figure eight, and seeing her get the win, pinning Oscar at that. She pinned Oscar. Do you I do want to, if I can dig a little bit here real quick. Do you what do you think is next for Oscar, or what would you like next for Oscar if I can ask that?
I don't know. Maybe she tries to pursue the title again. I mean, there was this thing of like, people wanting to see Oscar versus Io, and I mean, I guess Oscar is owed a rematch in some way. She was champion. She did lose. I don't know what's gonna go on with Bianca because I feel like obviously she's gonna want to throw her hat in there, but maybe she might go a different route. Maybe she might have an issue with Charlotte. Her and Charlotte butt heads a lot on things. But I would love to see Io versus Asuka at Payback. That'd be cute. So yeah, and I just like I was seeing comments like of people saying this match was bad, and I was just like, were you watching this through like Funhouse glasses or something? That you came to this conclusion? Like, I just think people like to hate things. Because this is my second favorite match of the night, 100%. Like, these ladies brought it, and anybody saying anything otherwise, it's just being a hater.
There you go. You heard it from the captain, Shay Sawyer. She said you are a hater nonetheless. I mean, is there anything you want to add before we get into the main event?
It was really, really nice to see Dakota Kai. I'm just happy, she's doing good. That was great. I think, this was a great 1 year for EO. You debut in the main roster at SummerSlam, and then next year you become champion at SummerSlam. I think that's really cool, and I'm really glad that they had Dakota there because that was when Damage Control came. So it's like it's a full circle moment for them.
Good job, good job. No, and yeah, no, good for her. Like when she won, I was happy for her. I don't know what is next for her, but and like I mentioned earlier when we're talking about LA Knight winning and possibly going for the United States Championship. I was like, well, just as long as there's a direction. So I'm hoping that there is a direction for her. Talking about EO being, because it's great that she is the champion. I'm a fan of that, but I just want to make sure that we're just not putting the title on her just because for funsies. Like I'm not a fan of anything like that. And I know, and I saw you shake your head, and I agree. Like like no, but I hope that there's direction. And I feel like there's a lot of things you can go. You mentioned Bianca Belair because hey, she was champ. She just lost it in however many seconds. She lost it pretty quickly, right? You have also I'm sorry, say that again because you're muted.
Same thing with Oscar as well.
And same with Oscar. Absolutely, I wanted to touch on that too. So you do have with Oscar, Bianca Belair, but you also have Bailey. Bailey,
Mm.
you got to keep in mind that there was a little bit of tension or jealousy with her and EO. So I believe in that. And there's probably other things and other women on the roster, but those are the three women right there. And it's like, oh well, yeah, that's right there. Well, how can they mess up? They
Well,
can.
Bailey is definitely a back burner right now because she does have something currently going on with Shotzi. So that's
Right.
definitely a back burner thing for now. So I think right now the fourth front would be something with like Oscar. I see.
And you know what? I would, if I could touch a little bit on that, I would be totally for that because I just think there's something about those two in the ring that I'm just intrigued, and I would love to see what they could do in the ring. Um, and I'm pretty sure they had some stuff like tag matches, but a single program, sign me up. I would say sign me up for that because I would be totally for that. So I do agree, Oscar, Bianca, and it might be another woman that I'm missing. So please, if you guys know another individual, write it down, and we'd be interested in hearing that and talk about that with you guys.
Well, didn't Zelina just get a win off of EO recently?
She did, didn't she? On as I adjust my chair, I think she
Was
did
that
on.
SmackDown?
I think she did.
So
You talking
there
about
you
she came
go.
out in the tank, right? She came out in the tank.
Yeah, she did. So yeah, there you go. That's a whole another person.
There you go. I say that because I feel like now you can still do a baby against baby because even though I know like right now EO is not classified as a baby face, right? I feel like we are so close to that. Like I would classify as a baby face just because
Hmm.
she's in that.
She's
She's
a
not too far
tweener.
off. Yeah, yeah. So that's why I go like, would we go that route? But you could do that. But you could. I wouldn't even say. I'd just go as far as you could do that. Um, And you know what? Good for her, cash. I just want to throw in one more time. Good on her for cashing in, and I just hope that there is a direction for her as the women's champion because Io Shirai is great. I just want to throw out here. Io Shirai is great. If
Yeah.
you guys don't know that, I would sit there and say check out some of her. There's stuff that she did in Japan. I'm not super familiar with it, but I would sit there and say for me, being familiar with her from NXT, seeing her work, especially when she went from baby to heel, I thought she found herself. And check that stuff out if you're just, hey, I'm hearing about EO. I need some kind of like you need a catalog and just trying to understand EO. Check out her NXT stuff. I would say. I think that's a fair catalog. But I would also say check out her Japan stuff if you are just interested to see that. The main event. Let's just jump into it. Hey guys, real quick. I just want to jump right here and what is the thing that they say on this thing called content creating? We're gonna pay some bills. It is called the Big Pop Theory Podcast. We are here on YouTube. It is 1 in the morning, and we are talking about wrestling. Me and ShaySawyer, we are tired. I want you to throw it out there. We are tired,
Mhm.
but we are here. We wanted to talk about wrestling. We wanted to talk about SummerSlam. SummerSlam went off the air over 50 minutes ago. We wanted to give our initial thoughts on this. We are on YouTube. We are live. You can check us out on all social media platforms. Underneath, you have Instagram, the Group Pop Theory Podcast. We have TikTok as well. So check that out. We'll be adding some content there. Trust and believe. YouTube, we're going to eventually add a lot more content. We try to go live after a certain pay-per-views. And I want to say Twitter, but they don't call it Twitter anymore. So, my name for it is called X Gonna Give It to You. So if you are on X Gonna Give It to You, you can follow us on the Big Pop _ and we live stream during Raw, NXT, AEW, Impact, and sometimes SmackDown. So we are on. We review. We give live streams. So please follow us on all those social media platforms, and join us and just talk about this crazy thing called professional wrestling. Let's talk about the main event. It is the tribal combat match. We had one Roman Reigns against Jay Uso. I do want to sit here and say real quick, I was with my little brother, and I said, hey, man, when Roman Reigns come out, you got to put the hand out like this. I was ignored.
I'm sorry.
I am sorry, too. I thank you. I agree. Like that was, you agree that was rude, right?
I didn't even hear what you said. I'm sorry. It's 1 a.m. It's like
unacceptable. But we had Roman Reigns going against his company, Jay Uso. It was for the WWE Undisputed Championship, and Roman defended his championship against his cousin. There's tribal combat, which is pretty much hardcore, no rules, and I thought these guys went out there and they did what they had to do. They did a great storytelling. Jay, it looked like it was a few times where Jay was going to get the win. I never expected Jay to get the W. I expected Roman to win as he should. I wasn't a fan, real quick, on Money in the Bank when he lost to Jay. I just didn't think the visuals of him getting pinned. I just didn't think that was a good move, but that's just me personally. But it happened. There's nothing you can do about it. I won't sit here and cry and moan about it. But just when it looked like Jay was going to get the win, he hit the splash, and as he's pinning him, someone breaks the pin, and you're like, "Who is this? Who is this hooded figure? Who broke up the pin?" And then it's revealed to be Jimmy Uso, Jimmy Hayden Uso. Jimmy Hayden Uso. He takes a look at Jay. Jay is baffled. He's confused. He's upset. He can't believe that his brother has betrayed him, and he's confused. And then Jimmy hits him with the super kick of the century, betraying his brother. And Roman, I don't think he even spared him. He just pinned him. And now it looks like we're gonna have the next chapter being for Jay against Jimmy. And it's funny because I remember seeing a podcast a while ago, and they talked to them, and they said, "Did you guys ever thought about having a match against each other or something like that?" And they were like, "Yeah, we want to do it." And I think they said Mania or something like that. But they've always had a vision of having a match between each other. So now seeing this happen goes like, wow, you're gonna have your dreams come true. And we've had tag teams go against each other. In TNA, we had we didn't have it in WWE, but we had the Dudleys going against each other. WWE and TNA, you had the Hardys going against each other. WWE, you had Edge and Christian. And now we have the Usos going against each other. Jay against Jimmy. Sawyer, I'm going to give you the floor because it's your time to talk. So what did you think about this match? Please add anything that you feel that you want to talk about in this match. And also, what do you think about Jay against Jimmy?
I thought it was a fun match. I thought, Jay, gave it everything that he had. And, Roman's going to do his thing always. He kind of matches energy. I've clocked Roman's T. He's an energy matcher. That's how he does matches. He just matches energy with whoever he's wrestling, which is not a bad thing. It means you're just like you're versatile. You can work with anyone. Yeah, no, so I really enjoyed the match. I didn't think it was bad. I thought, great storytelling. That's one thing with the Roman match that he has not missed since. And that's like storytelling within his matches. Like it's so top tier and well done. I like how many stories and chapters does the Bloodline have? My goodness, this is one of the longest mangas I've ever read in my life. I haven't read manga, but I'm just saying, like, it's
I
so
totally get what
long.
you mean. When you talk about arcs and stories, yeah, I totally get what you mean.
Yeah, it's long. And I mean, I guess now we're getting Jimmy and Jay. I mean, I don't know because maybe Jimmy even feels a way towards him because Jimmy wouldn't have even been in the bloodline or had all these things if it was not for Jay. Jay was a catalyst for this. So I could see why he would harbor negative feelings towards him for that reason. We'll see what his explanation is on Friday. Um, I'm backing him no matter what. I just feel like he had a reason, okay? He was tired of getting beat up. He was tired of the foolishness. And sometimes it just makes people snap.
Because he got his ass kicked?
No. It was deeper than that.
Because Jay was. You say this, I feel like Cleo, I want to dig a little deep here real quick before we call this a show. But what is it for you? You said it's deeper than that. What is deeper?
What do you mean?
No, I want to know more. You talking about why Jimmy turned on Jay? Why did I think Jay was a
I
hater?
just explained it. I said because it was the reason he ended up in Bloodlines because of Jay. And everything else is a domino effect of things that have happened to Jimmy that weren't so positive. So he could, harbor energy for that.
I'm gonna be interested in hearing what his reasoning, because he's gonna explain it, especially this Friday. Or maybe he won't never explain, because Brock never explained why he just liked Cody. He never gave us a reason. So maybe Jimmy never reveals anything. He just says, F it. I just wanted to I just wanted to hit a super kick on my little brother or my brother because I can. I might do that later because my little brother is here. I might just hit a super kick because that's what brothers do. But that was our initial thoughts, real quick, about SummerSlam, or what Bret Hart would say, the SummerSlam. It was really quick. It's so late here, late at night, guys. We wanted to do a review. We wanted to give quick thoughts talking about SummerSlam. We hope that you guys enjoy this. The Big Pop Theory podcast. We occasionally go on live for initial reaction on pay-per-view or PLEs. Apologize, it's just such a habit. But we are an audio podcast. We go on we record on Sundays, but Mondays around 12:30. We upload the episode. We put it on all different social medias. We do put advertising on Twitter or X and Instagram, but we also we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also Google Podcasts, and hopefully many more later on. As of now, right now, is listening to my voice. Those are the audio podcasts you can listen to. We are going to upload this and make this an audio podcast. So if you guys wanted to join us live but couldn't, and just want to hear our thoughts, quick initial thoughts, we're going to upload it. You'll hear it, and you guys will hear it tomorrow, Sunday. Right now, well, it is Sunday. It's Sunday in the morning, but you'll hear it Sunday in the afternoon. So I want to say thank you guys for listening to the Big Pop Theory podcast. We'll be back with another episode next Monday. ShaySawyer, you have a lot going on for yourself, so please tell the people what you have going on, and just tell them where they can find you.
I have too much going on to go down right now at 1 a.m. ShaySawyer _ I post about it all on there. You can find it there.
Absolutely, and you can catch me at BadGuy underscore Jack. As you see, as my eyes are very heavy, but you can catch me there on a Popular View, the network. There's links to many channels that we got going on. So click those links if you want to follow us. On Tuesdays, you can catch me for the NXT show. Wednesday, sometimes I do the Impact review. But I do want to point out that we do have Unpopular Review. We're bringing back the challenge this week. Is it this week? It is this week. I'll just advertise it real quick. We have the challenge coming out. It'll be on Thursday, I think at 11 or something like that. We'll do a review. But there's so much going on Popular Review, so much thing going on the Big Popular Podcast. We want to say thank you guys for joining and listening to us. And we sit here and say thank you, subscribe to us, and be well, and bye.